Alright. I've officially started recording. I've officially started recording for very evil high mode energy YouTube
Dang, we didn't
video.
even get a.
Oh, I also got to switch. How do I switch this? How do I
My beautiful cigarette.
How do I, you know what? I'm just gonna stop sharing the screen. Oh, wait. Change windows. I'm just gonna make it the whole I'm gonna just make it the whole screen. So now you can see, so no counting or anything. We're just going straight in. I'm way too high. I'm way too high right now. This is the Plague Garg.
Oh no.
Its whole bit is that it's the gargantuan Leviathan, but it got infected with an even worser plague than the Kara virus. Bacteria, whatever. It's even worser and is there because Altera decided to piddle paddle at Kara to make a bioweapon. And then it destroys the Aurora for real. I'm throwing a lot of fucking shade at the writers of this mod, and I'm not even going to pretend like I'm sorry about it, because I'm really high. I'm sorry. Like, they did a lot of really good things. I love, like, what's out to the public and not via the one guy who was, like, funding it, who was the only one who had access to the mod until they've released this more recent thing, right? Like, I just realized that this opened in Paint. Why did this open in Paint?
I have no idea.
Hold on, this is open in Paint. I'm just gonna... Anyway, like, some of the stuff that's, like, actually out to the public, that's all relative, like, pretty fucking solid so far. Like, their dialogue is not half bad. A lot of, there's the fucking dome, good. I like all of these things. But the main things, like, the big Garg thing, and, like, the weird story beats with like, the flesh plague that's sentient, and, like, fully sapient, those parts are just like, they're not. I think the biggest problem with it all is that it's all centerpiece. It's all shown off, right, by designs like this. It's not good body horror. It's just kind of not. And I feel bad shitting on it so much because this is a very popular mod. People like this mod. They've put a lot of work into this mod. I drew a little mustache on it, yes. People like this mod, and I just don't. I really don't.
Oh, love that mustache.
I will say, it does look kind of like, you know that problem they have in archaeology where they, like, find a skeleton and shrink wrap the bones?
Yeah, and I don't think if that was supposed to be intentional, it would have been great. But given that it just looks like a skeleton, it doesn't even look like it should be an alive scientific thing. It doesn't have muscles and organs. And maybe this is just because the YouTube video that this is in, that people, that, like, you could look at, maybe it's just because the lighting wasn't very good and the guy didn't get a good look at it or something. It is just really, really big and it's really hard to, like, get an idea for what the design is. But it really, like, it could be that this is just a bad image of it, right? This is a recreation that somebody made based on what was shown in the YouTube video. So it's totally possible that this guy just botched this, like, model, but I really don't think so.
I know a good amount of artists that if you describe what you want, like, the actual, like, what a better body horror Leviathan would be for you, I could get you, like, a good example of it. And if we manage to get that, then it's on
screen now. Editing Danny hates me right now. But yeah, no, because it's like a body horror Leviathan, right, is something I imagine where, like, the way that it functions does not seem to make sense, right? Like, skin wrap it, like, with, like, no fat, And, like, make it transparent like the Ghost Leviathan. Yes, sure, absolutely. But really show, like, the squiggly meat and organs inside of there like a glass frog. And, like, maybe it eats, like, bigger things, but it has, like, the baleen of a big whale, and its jaw just unhinges like a snake does, to just grab something and use those baleen to, like, hold it in place as it, like, just fucking snake eats things.
I think you might just be describing the Subnautica Below Zero Leviathan. Like,
yes, which we will get to that one. It's very I would not like to save my work right now. No, thank you.
Good work.
Because it's somewhere down here. It's right here. But yeah, and that is kind of, but like, take that and make it like glass frog almost. Like wet and round and glass frog, and that's basically, yeah.
I'd be surprised if any of these weren't wet.
But yeah, so I have very much given my opinion on this creature.
F tier.
F tier, yeah. No, I'm on the 1,000,000,000 chance that the fucking developers of this mod see this. This isn't personal.
Honestly, I just being generous on them because the rest of the mod is so fleshed out would give them like a D, but that is like taking into account things that are not the Leviathan.
Things that are not the Leviathan, right? There's so many good parts of it. This is the deep bloop. I'm not sure how this looks like this. I'm not sure how these two creatures are related, other than this one can also vacuum suck. Like, they don't look the same. This one looks like a carp and a crocodile had a fucked up baby. And I'll get to you later. Fucking dirty, like, SpongeBob dirty bubble looking motherfucker. I'm not going to be able to be hyper positive because I'm going to be honest, I don't like a lot of the fan Leviathan's designs. Anyway, the deep bloop. I got real distracted. And I've just realized I haven't pulled up the PNG of it.
Yeah, I was like, what does it look like? You know what? That looks like a gar mixed with an alligator.
It's so...
And a platypus? But also, you know the pangolians? The ones that, like, have those armor plates? That's
okay. It feels like there's, like, this many things strung together. It really feels like that should not be a perfect description, but it is.
Sorry, I was looking up like videos of these things, animations. They look like shit. I'm sorry. They look so bad.
I'm sorry. I love you. And here's the thing, is things like this, I always feel a little bit bad clowning on them and like really like pointing out their flaws, because this takes time. Learning how to model and like animate, that's all so much time.
It's so difficult, and it's so much better than anything that I could do. But
why does it look like it has like a stretched out T-Rex head from Jurassic Park?
Why does it look like its mouth is sewn shut?
I don't think that's supposed to be sewn. I didn't notice that earlier. It took me a second. I think that's just supposed to be like the crocodile teeth where they stick out.
My biggest problem with so many fan-made Leviathans is that the developers of Subnautica took a lot of care to try and think of why certain animals look the way they do and how they survive and how each trait affects it. It's speculative biology. It's a very intense and rigorous thing that exists. And then fan-made shit will just be like, what if it was big?
Right, and I'm looking at this, right? We've got the flippers down here of a turtle, and we've got these rows of things back here, which is normally reserved for fast-moving predator fish. But it is the least hydrodynamic thing I've ever seen in the middle.
Those tiny ass fins are not doing shit. I'm sorry.
Like, and it like that design though, right? When a fit like the way like if you go over to the Reaper, a Reaper. In fact, I'm gonna pull up the picture of the Reaper
Yeah,
just
a
to.
beautiful image.
And you know what? The fact that it doesn't really have like a neck
Like this.
also bothers me.
Yeah, no, it does not have a neck. But like the way that like its fins go out for these big wide things, it is a design that a lot of predators have because oh god, where did it go? That like that, and it's that shape that makes the difference, right? That is a specific tail shape that's on faster moving fish,
Predators.
and it's so it means that it should be going fast. But it also looks like it's gonna be just shoving extraneous water everywhere.
Yeah, like even if it does try to catch something, its own current will just blow it away from its mouth.
And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking this is a D tier, and I say that because at least this one looks like a creature, like an animal, like something that could like even if it's a bad animal, it doesn't look like you skinned something and then just like left it out in the sun.
I do have to agree. It at the very least looks like an animal that could exist.
Maybe a bad animal, maybe an animal that'll only survive for another few hundred years. But an animal. It's some like super old like Cambrian explosion like ass animal that like before we've even gone land where just anything counted because there were no rules yet. Evolution hadn't figured out what the good design decisions were.
This yeah.
Yeah, that's the vibe it gives me.
All right. So now we've got the Abyssal Blaza. And I feel like I can't say what I think the Abyssal Blaza looks like.
It looks like the Indominus Rex mixed with a really glow-in-the-dark eel skeleton, because it doesn't even look correct. It's not even an eel skeleton. This is a fish bone.
You know what it kind of looks like? It kind of looks like somebody very creative in like school, in like their physics class, where there's like a picture of a bullet with like a trail behind it to like show like velocity and airflow. Right.
Yeah.
Like you've got something like that going. And somebody very creatively decided to like draw a dinosaur on top of that.
So I've got your screen pulled up with the like main image, but I've also got a video with animation pulled up on the side. Honestly,
Okay, so it's very long.
it looks goofy as fuck. How in the face, however,
you don't see the face.
You don't see the face, and I do admire that specific like eel animation.
No, looking at that animation, this like it's very goofy. I think that face is gonna dock it regardless. But
the face docks it a little, but I have to make the argument. I do think that there is something that's very naturalistic about a fucked up giant animal that looks scary as shit, and then it's just fucking goofy in the front.
Oh yeah, that is man, editing Danny is gonna hate me. Because now I have to go look up this video to download it. Thank you, Steve Kong. I'm stealing your shit. Because now I have to show this, right? Now it's important.
Now it's important.
Right.
But I think it would have always been important, because we would have ranked this unfairly otherwise.
Right. I wish I could say that the Plague Guard gets points seeing an emotion. It doesn't. It does not look especially good, like especially better that way. But yeah, Yeah, you have lots of fun with that.
Oh my
It's and
god.
it's like way near the end. Um, but yeah, I think you know what? I think with that video in mind, this gets like a solid B tier. It probably would have been high A. It would have been a high A, but that face is real goofy. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry when like I cannot stay mad if when it like flips over to being the face of like the big monster that it's that like I will die. I will be laughing while I die.
I think if they would have gone with like a slimmer kind of face instead of it being so bulky, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, I also it does just look a little bit too much like a sperm in this picture.
No, I can't stand you.
Like you can't.
Dominant that they put glow in the dark marker on or something.
There's a couple things that seem
You
like
know?
a little bit off,
What is that?
even compared to the.
Sorry, pardon? What is that thing?
This is the Abyssal Oculus. It's just a big Oculus.
Let me hunt
What?
down a...
How does
I need to see how this thing moves. I kind of love that. Can I be real?
No, I do like it. I do like the idea. Because here's the thing. Is on top of everything else, I do genuinely think if I was deep underwater and an eyeball the size of my goddamn submarine showed up
The
next
size
to
of
me,
a Subaru.
an eyeball so large you could fit the Holy Host inside of it. Opened up next, like I would piss and shit myself. It would just happen. My body would just be like, I'm already dead. There's a reason why underwater big eye opens up next to you is like the image of thalassophobia. Like there is absolutely 1 billion percent every single fucking underwater horror movie in which you immediately see big eyeball brrr. If in fact I will say it right now, and they gave my editing Danny even more work. I'm sure I'm yelling at myself in editing mode right now. It's like I'm definitely showing like video of those different, and I'm finding as many as I can after this. So, just to drive home how much that is. I think for sure ubiquity and good design, in part because it is just a canon design. I think it gets an A. It's not crazy special great. I would not download the mod for this Leviathan. But if they added it, but if I could get a mod that was just this, or if it was just like part of another mod that I liked, I would be happy.
Yeah. I can't find a good video of it, but if you can, then 100%. I have no idea.
I'm not sure if there is one. Okay. So this one has a bit of a...
You might have to download these mods and get some in-game footage.
Right, I may have to. I probably won't, though. Because that involves having to download and play through a large amount of mods that I just don't really think...
I mean, fuck it, I'll do it. I enjoy it. I enjoy Subnautica, unlike some people.
No, I do enjoy Subnautica, I just don't... Fuck off. I'm sure I'll be able to find any video I want to find.
What's this one called?
This one is just called an anglerfish. Its big shtick is that it can make itself look like a hole in a wall to like it's like it could be like, ooh, look, it's a hole, it's a architect, not architect. Yes, architect. It's an architect tunnel. Go down me for treasure. You're probably gonna want to put in Subnautica because the anglerfish is just like a real fish too.
Yeah.
But it just looks like a wall, and then it's like, ooh, I ate you. You barely even see it in its actual form, and it just looks like a shitty low scale render of like an actual anglerfish, but without all the things that make real anglerfish spoopy.
Anglerfish are so cool.
Like, there's too many lights going on, it cannot hide and wait for you to go to its eyeball. You might be able to find it if you search Subnautica. Like the word Subnautica. So it's missing out on its big thing. I'm sure we're gonna have another Subnautica one soon. I really don't like the Subnautica ones. I think it's a joke, but it seems to have way too much going on to be a joke. Like, it takes itself too seriously to be a joke, but not seriously enough to be, like, real.
Oh no. Did you find a video of it?
No, we found something else entirely, I think. Oh, we'll get to the Blaza. That little fleshlight looking fucker has it coming too. They don't look better in motion. They really don't. But yeah, I think this is like a C, because there's nothing like so inoffensive to do with it that it goes any lower. But like overall, it's just not good. This is just not good.
It's not creative at all, and it's Earth design. It's not.
In no way does this feel alien.
This
It's like
is
alright in the sense of like it's a sea creature, yeah, but it's not good enough to really be considered like Subnautica, you know?
Right, it's not alien. It's just not. Alright, I need to look up how the fuck the gulper moves. I just need this one is an absolutely must, because the thing is that it looks so shitty and goofy. I'm sorry once again, I'm being mean. No, it does not look much better in motion. It really does not look better in motion.
okay,
And in fact, it's not even that big.
You know what?
It's not even actually that big.
But it's alien enough.
Why does its arms hold completely still? Like,
Yeah, this kind of sucks shit. I mean, with the bioluminescence, it looks a little better,
but not by much. Like, I was really looking at it like...
Wait, no, go back, wait. Look, check my stream. Look at its attack animation.
Hold on, I'm watching this.
It just swipes at you with its little arms.
It's just like... meh.
No.
Meh.
It's
Yeah, no, so this one is not good, right? Like, given the fact that its arms are so stiff, like, its entire, like, there's no animation below its, like, fucking waist. Like, above its waist, there's, like, no fucking animation. Like, I wanted to give it a D. Like, if its little armies waved, well, it swam, and, like, its little teethies, and I could figure out how the fuck its mouth worked, it would probably be in, like, D. Maybe C, if you account for the bioluminescence. But when you account for the fact that I don't know how this animal works again, I kind of want to put it in F. I really don't know how this animal works. And I think that's sort of the big kicker for if something goes to F, is if I need to know how this animal works. Why does this look like when you, like, shove stuff into, like... every single...
You had, like, 4 different ideas, and you couldn't decide on one?
I don't know how its mouth works. I really don't. It looks like when you shove, like, a potato or something, like, really, really big in your mouth, and it's doing that around something that is, like, actively, like, crawling into its body. Because it does not look...
What does it evolve to eat?
How... I don't understand how this animal...
My question is, how does it hunt?
Yeah, no, because it does not seem to... It's not that big.
And it's not fast either.
It's not fast, it's not big. In fact,
What is it
this
like?
probably isn't any bigger than the. And you'll notice I did not put the shark squid. The fuck.
Squid
The
shark.
squid shark. Yeah, I did not put the squid shark here. That was not a Leviathan. It's not on any of the Leviathan lists. It doesn't count. But this looks like it should be on that list too, of like pseudo Leviathans.
One thing, okay, this is such a minor complaint. You see that fin at the very top of their body?
It shouldn't have that, I don't think.
That is for things that live close to the surface and need to collect warmth through sunlight. This thing lives as far from the surface as you can get.
It's not a good animal. And now,
Yeah.
yeah, no, like it kind of just goes in F. I'm sorry, I don't know how your animal works. This one is my favorite one. It's the multi-garg.
Sorry, what?
Whoa.
Some people call it the Hydra. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see you see this thing move. 'Cause it doesn't.
That thing is kind of. It's like.
It's I don't know how it moves once again. I don't know how it fucking moves. It just sort of shows up if you try and leave.
Okay, I got it.
Hold on, wait.
Oh.
It's so stiff. And
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a reason no real animal evolves to have multiple heads. It's just not a good idea.
Oh shit, they do have one underwater.
Okay, they do have one underwater. All right, if it
Let's
moves
see. Let's
any better, I might consider that it's a real animal.
Oh my god, is it literally not moving?
It doesn't have animations. There's a reason no animal looks like this.
Dude, this one's teeth are clipping into this one's eye.
It's just,
What?
it
It has horns. Underwater animals don't need horns.
They don't do that.
they don't do that. It's
No, they don't do that.
it's like. Also, why is this called the multi-garg? This doesn't look like a garg.
And it's way smaller than a garg too, if I can be so real. It
Yeah.
feels like it at the very least.
Like, maybe if it, like, stretched out like a starfish, and here's the thing, I could see something like that, right? Like, if it stretched out like a starfish and had all of these faces, and, like...
Just a reminder as to how bad this leaving animation looks. There's no shading.
It's so funny. But, like, I could see something like this working if it was, like, it had, like, more heads, and it was, like, starfished out, and so it would, like, look, and like, it would look like it was, like, a plant or something. But just there's no reason an animal looks like this. I'm
This
putting
shouldn't
it
be a
in
Leviathan.
F. I'm putting it in F. Why does it have any animations?
You know what it would have been cool like? You know those sandworm eels that like burrow in the sand? It would
Yeah.
have been like that, and it would burrow and it would leave its heads out to kind of
Like,
just,
like that's
eat on
still
whatever passes
stupid.
by.
There's still reason you don't heads like that. But at the very least, now there's like a reason, right? It's sort of like,
Writing these modded sub-
it's like, and I'm gonna lay some shade on our boy Crab Squids.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
go ahead.
I'm gonna lay a little bit of shade. The EMP, a little bit stupid, right? Like, no animal evolves that way. But they do explain it. They do at least go, like, hey, it's doing
Look what
this
made
because
my-
the ampules, right? At the very least, it's like, yeah, don't worry. We have a reason for this. This is the
Plaza
Plaza.
I'm ahead of y'all. I already pulled it up.
Yeah, no, I see it.
Here we
Why
go.
are you stacking?
What this
Weird.
it looks like.
Sometimes I do that. It's very funny.
Okay, like, once again, it's at least big enough.
And I
It's-
do like the woobliness.
The wobbliness
Although I
is
don't
good,
like
but
how- Mm.
its weird little snub nose, I don't like.
It looks like inbred, like a pug.
It looks like a pug. It looks like the pug of Leviathans.
My thing is, like,
It's-
specifically turns its head, it goes way too fast for its size.
Yeah, no, like, they clearly, like, realized that you need to make something agile for it to be dangerous in this game, but, like, what the fuck is its spine?
Also, the fact you can straight into it.
Like, and, like, it's definitely long. It has the same long moments as our boy number B here. The deep plaza. The deep plaza, it at least looks good when it's swirling around you until you see its face. This one doesn't even look good while it's swirling around you.
Yeah.
It's all of the problems with the deep plaza. Oops, I
Even the
missed.
comments say that it doesn't look that good.
Basketball. Like, it's everything wrong about the deep plaza with nothing right. I
It
think
reminded me of a tube poppet.
yeah, like those little stem toys. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of a stem toy. Just
I
real
think
fun.
the big question.
Stretch him out and he would make a noise.
I think the big question, because it's not F, I at least understand how this animal works.
F tier is like, you should rename the tiers for how you feel about this. F tier, this animal should not be a real. This animal shouldn't exist at all.
This shouldn't. This shouldn't animal.
This shouldn't animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have done this.
It shouldn't animal.
And at least animals. I'm keeping A as like they could have added this to vanilla Subnautica, and I would not have questioned it. I might have been like, this doesn't really have to exist, but I wouldn't have been like, man, I fucking hate it.
S is for Subnautica.
Yeah.
S is for Subnautica. If you didn't have,
If you look at it.
if you didn't have that dumb blank.
You didn't have that dumb face. C tier is,
I am going to temporarily just name this one Anglerfish.
C tier is, this one is just an animal.
Yeah, like it. I'm naming it Anglerfish for now. I think this one has to go in Anglerfish tier though.
I
Like-
can see it.
Like it's not bad enough. Like it's not bad enough that I'm like, this animals, but this would die pretty fast. And, like, it's a bad animal. This one is just an animal. It's not like an interesting one. It's not compelling. It's not good. It's just there.
What's our next animation I'm looking up?
The silence is next. And I will say this, the silence might be our first S tier. Whose microphone is currently crunching so hard that it no longer exists?
I don't hear it, so it's probably mine.
I'm not crunching on anything, so I don't know what's going on. I don't hear it either.
Okay. I'll have to keep an eye out. Anyway, but yeah, no fucking lie. The silence might be our first one. Because one, I like its gimmick. It's got a cool gimmick. It's just a good... In fact, I'm gonna look up the silence. Hello, Monorailio. I hope you like having this random 30... I don't know why I thought that would work. This random 30... I probably should watch... there's definitely a way for me to be like... Here we go, Steve Kong. What's up, Steve Kong, my man? You're the top #1 for real. Oh no, Steve Kong, why'd you delete the silence video?
No.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Steve
Why is my
Kong.
internet crumping?
Steve Kong couldn't handle the heat of the whatever it is.
I got it. I
can't
got it.
remember.
I have the Steve
Yeah,
Kong thing.
let's go.
I think your internet just fucked it.
Okay.
Okay, everybody,
Probably.
gather around the campfire.
Oh no, did my internet poop it?
Yeah.
Did my internet?
Okay. Actually.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. I'm closing out this one.
Tuck strand of hair behind ear. Hi, girly.
Yeah, okay.
Barely pop.
I'll find something later. Great
No,
though,
Steve
right? This is
No, it's-
great.
Steve Kong does have the video up. I think your internet just shut out. I have it up on my screen.
Oh. Okay, cool. But yeah, no. Do you see? Like, it's animated beautifully. Its, like, shtick is that it's got hyper hearing, so it, like, makes everything around it silent with, like, a negative wave, which is, like, a really cool, real science thing. I can make sense of how this animal works. Like, in a crazy alien way, it makes sense that this thing is real. Like, the only thing that, like, doesn't make sense from a biological standpoint is whatever the fuck those crystals are back there.
My only gimmick with this thing is it's like bone horn thing.
The bone horn thingy is a little bit funky, but honestly, I do like it. I think all of the things, like the weird crystals on its back and stuff, like the weird crystalliness on its back, like on its, like, fins, and, like, that horn being a little bit funky, I think all of that I could excuse because it just makes for a good, really alien design. Like,
Yeah, like, there's a few things that are excusable, but there are some things that I can be like, okay, this is like an alien planet, right? So maybe there's mineral deposits, or like maybe it was a different evolution.
right, it could be, like, it could be, like, its appendix. You know, like, I needed this, like, half of a million years ago. So I think this is our first S tier.
What's up? What are you saying? What's up?
Like the Reaper Leviathan, right? It has those 4 appendages, so it kind of makes sense from a biological.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, it's something that things on this planet just have generally evolved.
Like if it had evolved to like maybe have it, but kind of messed up in its evolution somewhere, and was just like, yeah, all right, this kind of works, I guess. Then you know what? Yeah, that makes
Abyssal
sense.
Terror.
Yeah, that one's called the Abyssal Terror. This one's just a plant. Or at least it kind of acts like one. It's like, it's at the bottom of the void, and it, like, snakes up at you.
I like it. It looks like those.
I don't think you're gonna find a video, because some of these are, like, barely, like their mods aren't out and about anymore, or they've been abandoned for a long time, and they're just on the wiki, and so the only information you can find about them is really on that wiki.
Yeah, there's not. Ooh.
I like it as a concept. I think that, like, this is like a one-head version of that idea we were talking about with the multi-garg, where it's like it's just on the seafloor and goes up, and then it waits for something to come and then grabs it. Like, because they're a real thing. Like they're like, it's like an upside-down jellyfish that stays still. Or like a sea anemone. It's just a
can
really
see it.
big sea anemone.
It's the mimicry.
But it definitely shouldn't be a Leviathan.
It's really big, and I'm not sure why it's really big, and I don't really understand why it works that big. If I knew how big it was, it would help. I think I can't give it a really high score.
Maybe
I can't give
needs
it...
its own tier of like, I can't rate this.
Maybe... We'll come back to this and see if we have thoughts on it later. Now we finally have one that's just a canon one. Just a regular non-modern.
Should I pop up animations for these two? Have you played the game?
Yeah, I've played all. Yeah, I've seen all of these guys.
Not
play.
you.
Oh,
Not you,
Cassius.
obviously. Do you want animations?
Play. Yes, please. I want to
Okay,
feel
yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
These ones will be easy to pull up.
I think unfortunately, on the whole, I'm not as fond of the Below Zero Leviathans, and not because they do anything necessarily wrong. It's just that they're filling really big shoes. Like, the Chelicerae is obviously supposed to be like the Reaper, but it's smaller. You don't ever have the feeling like when you're going into somewhere where there's Reapers, where there's like 7 billion of them, because there's only a small handful of Chelicerates. I'm trying to remember, but I think the Chelicerate does have a little bit of bioluminescence, if I'm remembering right, though I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll put more work on editing, Danny. I'm way too high. Make editing, Danny, do the work. But I'm pretty sure
Danny's gonna kick your ass later.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a little bit of bioluminescence, but like, basically, they don't have the I'm in this place and there could be fucking 3 of them here and I wouldn't know that you get with the Reaper Leviathan.
I think that it really comes into its own whenever you find the Void Chelicerate.
Yeah, because and in fact, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna put. I don't think any of the canon ones are gonna get below maybe like rank, like B rank, right?
The music
They're
on this
all
one's goofy as fuck, but it's a good example of its animations.
Goofy AF, yeah. I'm gonna. You know what? This is great. Shout out to King Dongo. This is great. Shout out to King Dongo, making sure that I'm being cool. But yeah,
the video is called "How to Safely Scan a Chelicerate Leviathan in Subnautica Below Zero."
Thank you. But yeah, I'm pretty sure all of these are gonna get high. That said, it's good, but it's not great. It's not great, and I think the biggest crime it commits is there's not enough of them.
Oh fuck, I found the perfect video for this.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen those lying around before. But yeah, no, I think its biggest crime is just that I need more of them gameplay-wise. When I go into the dunes, I know that there's, like, Reapers fucking everywhere. And in fact, I'm gonna go over, because I think that the Void Chelicerate does get an S. Because the Void Chelicerate has the size to actually, like, really push.
Where is it?
Because they're bigger, they have that, like, fucking war damage, or whatever the fuck that is. I like the coloration better. The lighting in the Void brings them together.
I love the damage on it.
The damage especially, it really makes it feel like holy goddamn fucking shit. I love these. No notes, these are perfect. Especially when you see them in the Void, because, like, they're extra spooky in there.
What's next?
Next we got the Deep Bloop. I feel like we're gonna do very similar things for both of them, so I'm gonna stick both of them on screen right now, actually, even.
So you guys let me know.
I'm gonna stick them both on screen, even. 'Cause, first off, these are not different designs.
Yeah, that's the same animal.
This is the same goddamn thing, but one of them fell into, like, a vat of superhero ad. If you told me that the Deep Bloop was a bloop superhero, I would believe you.
I don't know if... I even need to pull up animations for this one because we
It
already said
doesn't.
the Bloop's animations are kind of
It
shit.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like the mean bubble from SpongeBob.
It does look like... Yeah.
And its special ability of fucking doing the mega suck is not...
What?
Its big thing is that it, like, creates a vortex in front of its mouth to pull you in, which, one, how is this thing fucking psychic? Because it's not sucking. As far as I can tell, officially, it's not sucking in. It's making a vortex.
Maybe it's just sucking in really hard and then shitting it out.
Which it could also just be sucking. But it's holding still and sucking, which, like, why are its teeth like that? Those aren't baleen. If it's sucking in water to suck in prey, it should have a structure like a baleen whale, and it's not.
What are those teeth doing for it?
It's doing nothing. It doesn't... It shouldn't bite. Everything about the way that this animal looks says that it should not be what it is. It is nothing but completely incorrect. Why does it have extra inside mouths? Is it like a fucking cow having two stomachs? Does it like close?
They saw the alien from Alien and went, "That's cool."
Yeah, you know, it looks like it'd be more of like a filter feeder.
It should be a filter feeder, and it's not.
It should. And the way that its mouth is open, it makes it seem like it's obviously in a fixed position. So it obviously shouldn't be able to bite down like you said.
I could be
and
wrong.
Those extra mouths aren't gonna actually do anything.
Is it like opening up the first mouth, and then like a digestion process happens in the first mouth, and then it opens up in the second mouth and swallows again?
Here's a fun fact for you. If you were to swim inside the mouth of a baleen whale, and like get swallowed by it, it would fully choke to death on you.
Like, it's not a good animal.
I don't. Every time you die to the bloop, it also dies.
Also, if it's sucking, either A, it should be inflating like a goddamn balloon.
Pufferfish.
Like a fucking pufferfish, right? That would make sense. If it was like it was sucking in and it was getting bigger, that would make sense. It should either be rocketing forward at Mach speed by fucking inhaling water and shitting it out the other end like a goddamn pressurized bottle.
Oh god.
Like, it's sucking in water. That water has to be going somewhere. And it can't just, like, eject it out like it does when it breathes. It's sucking in too much. It would make a fucking current, and it would destroy its own vortex. It should an animal.
It should an animal. It's not an animal.
That should not animal.
I believe we have our other big special guy when it comes to the modded Leviathans. Our best boy, the Garg.
So, can I get some historical context for Garg? Because I don't know if you know the history behind Garg.
Because the Gargantuan Leviathan, because the base design is based on the information in canon. It's like a kind of canon design. It's got the skull, it's got the eel-like body that it says in the thing that it should. And somebody gave the notes on to an artist and commissioned them to draw a thing, and then somebody made it real.
That's awesome.
And it's beautiful. You can really tell that this had a Passover with a real artist going through and making active, positive design choices.
Here's the Below Zero Steve Kong video. Thank you, Steve Kong. We love you.
We love you, Steve Kong.
We love you, Steve Kong.
It looks like it should animal. Like, generally. It looks very big. It looks like it eats other Leviathans, but it's got a real Megalodon vibe to it in that way. You really get to sit there and be like, oh my god, what if this was, like, actually out in the void in canon? It's so fucking big and scary. It's bioluminescent and alien looking. It's fucking huge. And the thing is that it's kind of like a Wolverine situation. It was the modded Leviathan that was the biggest, baddest Leviathan back before everybody making fan Leviathans was fighting over trying to make the biggest Leviathan that could beat up the gargantuan Leviathan. It is everything that, like, Bloop and Blaza and the Deep, it's everything that those fuckers wanna be.
And I adore its... The animations really do make it for me.
The animations are great.
There is so much, like... What's the word? There's so much controversy, I guess, about you know, the Garg being, like, the Leviathan, and everyone is getting so tired of it because it's all anyone talks about. But, like,
it is the best one. It's just good. It is just the... I'm going to specifically put it at the top.
The physics are so good. It has blinking animations.
It's
like,
just that... Like, I would download the entire mod for the Garg. Ghost Leviathan. Ghosty Boy. We love the Ghosty Boy.
Now, is this void or regular?
I'm considering them together. This is the adult Ghost Leviathans in...
So, the void one.
Like, the adult ones that are in the void, and I think also there's an adult one in the, like, no, those are the singletons on... The singletons on the surface aren't adults?
No.
I'm gonna double check that, because if that is true, then that makes me very sad for my challenge run, because it means that I do have to go in the void.
You do have to go in the void, yeah.
That'll be fun. But I'm considering the juveniles down below and the adults in the void. And I think that the fact that it... Because it's not like the Chelicera and the Void Chelicera where it has two different versions. In that way, right? And I love the way they move. I love the fact that they are seemingly also a filter feeder, which makes the most sense. Like, something like, if something is the biggest thing, it honestly isn't usually a predator. Not like the Reaper anyway type of predator. Because the thing is, right, is it's probably that big to avoid being eaten by Reapers. It's why, and I'll get to this later, I think that the Sea Dragon suffers from being so big and strong. It can fucking break the laws of physics and shoot lava, and it's so big, it's bigger than everything else. Maybe if you count the Sea Emperor as the big filter feeder above it, but it, like, the Sea Emperors have been gone for long enough for the fucking Kara to get around. But anyway.
They didn't even show the...
Big, bad, powerful Leviathan. The cry it makes, that, like, ghost noise, gives me chills every time. It scares me in a very different but very equal way to the Reapers. Whereas opposed to, like, a fight or flight, I'm immediately unsettled.
And can I be so real? A lot of the time, the transparent bioluminescence doesn't work for me just because, you know, while it is cool, it doesn't work in so many situations. This specific
It's so good. It's so good. Look at him go. Like, the fact that it does not have any wild, fast-moving things, so it just has, like, those feelers next to it. Like, those, like, feelery fins, because it does not need to be the biggest, fastest... like the fastest and the strongest. It just needs to be the biggest. It's like blue whales. They just filter feed stuff, so they don't need to hunt for food. They just need to not die from die. They just need to like exist.
Don't worry about those.
I think this one also has to go in S tier. Like, S tier is gonna get real crowded because all of the canon Leviathans are really, really, really good. But I think.
I feel like you're biased. Unbelievable.
They're just really good. Not all of them. Some of them are definitely stinkers, and we'll get to those. But I think Ghost Leviathans go in S tier. And in fact, speaking of stinkers, Glow Whale, I love you.
Oh, what?
I love you dearly. I love you. I love that I can ride you. I love that I can pet you on your little eye. You are just a whale. A very cool, like, ray whale thing. I love you. You're great. But, like, if you were just a little bit more alien, I'd fucking love you. As it stands, you look way too much like a real-world Earth animal. It's kind of like what we had with the anglerfish going on. Like, it's just a little bit too much like a regular real guy. I love that I can surf on you. I love that I can play with you. I think... Right? And it's like, it's really good. If it just looked a little bit more alien. If you didn't have that dumb Earth whale appearance. That's my opinion. Anyway, what do you two think?
Oh fuck! I found a bloop video from Steve Kong, my favorite.
We love you, Steve Kong. Yes, let me see what's going on. But yeah, no. Do you see what I'm saying with the glow whale?
Yeah.
I see it. Just
more alien.
It hurts. It hurts me, right? It hurts me, cause it is. It does not look any better. Why did it move like that?
Oh my god, it's definitely a puffer fish.
You know what I have going through my head while I watch this? Just that's
fucking... Oh fuck, Jesse Pinkman in Subnautica.
But yeah, no, it hurts me not putting the glow whale higher. But like, I just cannot say that the glow whale is as good as the Chalicerant. Like, yeah, at least it's not gonna be as bad as what I think about the fucking Iceworm. I love you, Iceworm. I love you so much. You're also very excellent, but just something about you.
Danny?
This one I do not know how to put into words.
Danny?
Yes.
Danny?
I'm so sorry. Can we take a break to watch this?
Oh yes, absolutely. Let's watch our best friend Steve Kong's video. Steve Kong, if you're watching this, give me a like, follow, and subscribe. And I'll continue to tout how much I love you. Because that was beautiful. That was possibly one of the best things I've ever seen.
Absolutely, I can't.
But yeah, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not a fan of it. It's not quite. It's somehow like clearly dangerous, but also not quite dangerous enough. It kind of suffers from a similar problem that I have with the Sea Dragon Leviathan, where it's like, I get how you work, but you shouldn't work that way. And you're really big, and you really have no reason to be this big. You're so big. And you're not even in the water, which makes it worse. And also, you should definitely be causing more havoc on these fucking ice, on these, like, big ice flows and stuff. Because, like, obviously you're not in dirt. If you were in dirt, then your little needle nose wouldn't work. So this is clearly a big iceberg. Shouldn't you be fucking up your big iceberg? And if you are, how do you swim between icebergs? And also, why don't you just do that? This planet is like 99% water. Why are you focused on the, like, one place where it's bad for you to be?
Oh,
But
here's
also,
the video.
it's so cool. It's so cool. It's so big and so cool and so dangerous. And it makes all of, like, the lands, like, have a fucking danger to it. By all accounts, I should think it's... Oh, God. No, Cassius. Take a shot every time Danny says suck, you meanie. Like, it should be so fucking... Okay, so wait. No, now hold on. It is going through dirt? That's not an iceberg. That's
It's
dirt.
not. I'd like to say this was not modded in. I've been in this area. It's slightly out of bounds of the ice worms, like, location. It's like a test animation area.
Okay, so it's not... It does not live in dirt.
It does not, but for some reason its test animations were all done in dirt.
Maybe just to visualize the area. Okay. But, like, still, though, it definitely has to be destroying these icebergs. Which means that it's kind of doing its own territory a nasty.
The fact that there's no ice worm tunnels that you can go into.
Right. It's like, is it like it doesn't leave tunnels behind? Like, an entire game focused on this, where, like, it was actively leaving tunnels. And, like...
You know,
But at that point, that game is not Subnautica.
you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of when orcas slap like ice to make it break, so that they can get seals
Right,
to go in
but
the
like
water
this
and
thing
touch it.
lives in the ice.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense.
Unless it can swim, in which case, why are you dealing with melting the ice? Like, and we're gonna ignore the fact that the caloric needs required to maintain that fucking ice spike.
Yeah.
It's not getting that from snow stalkers.
It is not.
It is not. And so it should be in the water, eating the glow whales, which, if they are as much like earth whales as they look like they are,
They are
like,
full of fat.
there's so much
Maybe
fat.
it's like how killer whales eat moose sometimes.
It seems
Oh,
like maybe, but like, then why can you only find it on land?
That's like,
Like,
Really?
it should be eating glow whales.
it should be eating prey significantly, almost its own.
And if it's eating glow whales, it doesn't need that horn.
Also, small thing, if I can be so real. This is not a worm, that's a centipede.
Oh
Bad
my God,
name. It's a bad name. I feel I feel like I've somehow talked myself down from, like, I was originally like, oh, I'll probably put this in like anglerfish. I think I've talked myself down to this shouldn't animal.
It shouldn't animal.
This probably should not animal.
It doesn't really make sense. The gameplay is cool, but also I'm not playing Subnautica for land content.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an overarching problem with Flow Zero in general, is I'm not playing a Subnautica game for the land content.
You're playing it for the sea content.
It's like,
For the
it's
Subnautica.
indicative of, but not directly the fault of, a greater design problem.
Wait.
Yeah, no, I saw that goofy owl walk animation.
Wait,
Let me hold on. I can't see. Give me uno momento.
I'll pause. Let me know when you can see it.
Okay, I can see now.
Okay,
Oh my
get the
god,
shit.
it's easy to see. No! That is so goofy. Oh my gosh.
Sorry if you could see the ass.
I love how like it doesn't even have legs to be moving around like the tennis.
Yeah, like, how is it ambulating? It's ambulating while tunneling through ice, which should be leaving behind a bunch of water, so it should be swimming, but it doesn't have any mechanics, like any of the physical musculature for swimming. It doesn't make sense as an animal.
Oh,
You can
so
see
how
its
is
tiny
that
legs
warm
writhing,
up?
but they don't do anything.
They don't.
It has, and like, I feel like it has sort of an inverse problem that some of the other this shouldn't animals have. Where some of the other this shouldn't animal have really good concepts that are executed awfully. This is a bad concept that's executed well.
Yeah.
All of the things that look good about it aren't really because of what its core concepts are. It's got really good animations because it was done by the full studio. With the full studio's resources, of course its animations and its visual design and its gameplay are gonna look good and feel good. Because they were done by the like, actual studio. Where the other ones are like, the Gulper's general-ish concept is good, but it's just executed really bad. Like, really, really bad. Like, if they had like, it could have been up there, and if you didn't have that dumb, but it kind of just executed its concepting really bad.
This thing for sure should have been an eel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give me
So how
that.
can it do that? Sorry, how can it do that?
It should not have the propulsion for that.
It shouldn't be able
Not
to
just
jump in the
like the
air.
propulsion. How can it move in midair?
How is it gaining that speed from a standstill that far up? Like, this thing should have like, this exact concept should have been done as, like, a giant sand shark that, like, hides in the ice and then charges out at glow whales and you.
Also, can we be so real? This thing sucks in gameplay.
It's not. Like, it makes the land dangerous, which it really, really needed.
It
But, like-
makes the land annoying.
But, like, all of the ways that you have to avoid it are obnoxious. Like, once again, I'd rather just be in the water. I'd really just rather be in the water. And it's not really
I
worth
would
it
never,
to
ever
spend
argue
all
that.
the resources to... Oh my god, I have so many of these open. Holy shit.
Tell you what, idea for the worm, the sandworm, whatever the fuck it's called, ice worm, I guess. What if Subnautica actually had tidal mechanics? Like, you know, because its moon is fucking huge. What if at high tide this thing would show up in like the fucking tide pools and start eating the shit that like washed up?
Yeah, no, that would be fucking great. That would be great. I would love that mechanic so much more. I think we've talked about too long about this at this point. We've been going on. We need to move on. Reaper Leviathan. There's a reason why I got scared like 17 different times in that fucking stream by by our best friend Joshua here. They are scary.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
There's like fucking 40 of them. I know it's not 40, but it's so many of them. Its design is great. They're so much more stealthy than they have any right to be.
One of the worst things to me about the Reaper Leviathans is that, like, they don't seem scary whenever you just catch them on video. If you're watching a live stream and you're seeing,
oh yeah,
shit,
no,
Reaper.
so many sure this is gameplay
Like
based.
1 inch tall. There's something about being in the game and being in control.
No,
that makes it, like, the
no.
largest thing in the world.
Were you I don't know if you saw the bit where I saw Joshua. I saw that Reaper for the first time and I like was just backing away terrified going, "Oh no, I built my base in the wrong spot. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this yet." And that's just a couple of them.
I always forget that Subnautica has VR compatibility.
No, I'm never playing it in VR. Hell no, I don't need to see those things in real size.
Its cry is terrifying. It makes at least biological sense.
Like,
for what
you'll
is
be
around
playing
it.
the game and you're already wound up like a goddamn spring because you either, either A, you don't know where the Reapers are and you don't know that they exist, or like you've never played the game before. Right? You just hear it roar, you turn around, somehow it got within like 10 fucking meters of you, and you did not see it. You did not see it, you did not hear it, you've gotten used to like the fucking sand sharks being loud as shit, and things making noises, and most things are bioluminescent, so they have glowy spots. And then either A, you don't know, you're just like in the already dark and mungy ass zone that is the fucking crash zone, or really dark in the dunes. You don't, and then you see it like way the fuck out, and you're like, oh, that's really far away. Or more likely, especially if you don't know it's there, it just roars.
That's really close.
It just roars. And you're like, oh, it's like 5 fucking feet away. How did it get here? It's so big. How did it sneak up on me? Alternatively, you know you're there. You know you have to be in the dunes for fucking Cyclops engine parts. And you're wound like a goddamn spring. And every single tiny motion becomes a Reaper. Every single noise, you're not quite like, every single noise starts you because you're listening for that roar. And you know, even when you see one and you're freaking out, there could be another one. Like, you can't even...
In vanilla Subnautica has to be, for me, what the Gargantuan Leviathan is for fan-made Subnautica.
It's just the best one. It's just so executed. It's so perfectly executed. Like, it's overplayed, yes, but it's like, it's overplayed for a reason. It's so good.
Absolutely.
This is the best one. There is nothing that puts you in a state of fight or flight more than, like, not quite being ready for one and it shows up. And it, like, something about the mandibles and the appearance and the sleekness, it just sets off, like, that animal, hey, it's a predator.
It's monkey brain terror.
Monkey brain terror. And the fact that they did this with a lot of the creatures, which is super great. They have that split coloration. And it works exactly how it does in nature, and you don't fucking see it. Or rather, you don't see it clearly enough. So there's so many times where you're like, I can't tell if I saw one or not.
Like, oh, I wonder what that is. It's the guy, and he's coming for you.
And he's coming for you. Like,
S tier, easy.
S tier, easy. And, like, I cannot overstate the fact that there's a bunch of them in every single place you find them. At the very least, when I'm in, like, the Blood Kelp zone, right? And I see the Ghost Leviathan there. I know where the threat is. I know where it is. I can keep track of it now. I can't keep track of 9 Reapers.
Whenever you're in that one section of the map that, like, is, like, barely on the edge of a void, and the PDA says, you are entering an area with multiple Leviathan-class life forms.
Oh, when you're
Sure
going into
whatever
the
you're doing is
dunes.
worth it.
Exactly. When you go into the dunes and it says that, and you're just immediately like, okay, cool. Because it's that it makes you feel surrounded. It sets you off
Even if
like...
you don't see anything, which can be worse.
Exactly. The Reefback... I think the Reefback is, like, perfect ambiance set dressing. Like, whale noises, it's big, it's usually the first Leviathan you see, and so the fact that it is the size it is really good, and it's a very flat, bulky, obvious size. It's genuinely helpful, so you end up building bases around them. They're great set dressing. But at the end of the day, they kind of just feel like set dressing. If that makes sense. They're helpful enough, like, those barnacles are pretty helpful in the early game if you can find them. I find that if I'm actively trying to find resources, it's not really worth it to go over to a Reefback because they, at least for me, don't really spawn a lot of barnacles. Or if they do, I can't fucking see them.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what barnacles you're talking about.
They grow barnacles, like little blue glowy barnacles that you can break for, like, I think, like, gold and silver and copper.
Shit, that's crazy. I never saw that shit.
And, like, anytime I want resources, I don't fucking see them. There's no barnacles.
I'll be honest, if an animal in a game has a baby version of it, that...
The baby version bumps it as well. It's such good set dressing. It's so much beautiful style. It just doesn't have as much substance.
It should be said that the first time you see a Reefback, it scares you to shit.
Oh, the first time you see, especially if you don't know what it is, you think you're staring into the face of an angry god that will eat you.
Absolutely. And then it turns out it's just a chill guy.
It's just a bit, this is what the glow whale wants to be. Big whale that scares you because it's so fucking big, but you ultimately want to hang around it. And it makes great set dressing.
No, literally, I think the glow whale was literally trying to be Reefback too. What's next?
So I think Reefback goes into the A tier. Cause if it had a little bit more substance, if I interacted with them, they would be great.
If they had a ride mechanic.
If they had a ride mechanic and like a set migration path, S tier, easy. Next is the Sea Dragon, and like I said with the fucking fish, how's Sea Dragon make fireball underwater?
Here's the animations for anyone curious.
How Dragon make fireball underwater?
How he make a ball underwater?
Like, the idea of, like... And, like, maybe it's, like, molten stone.
Like,
how?
Maybe, but even then, the caloric need for that...
The caloric need, which I'm not as worried about with him, because he is smaller. And it is, like, stated, like, there's not many of them. They seem to be starving out. And something happened that, like, has took them from their biggest food sources, which were probably Reapers and Ghosts. Because they don't seem to be able to get out from down deep anymore. not properly, and so it's possible that they're just starving. They could just be a doomed species that used to feast on, like, ghosts.
But what the fuck is he even doing inside of him?
That's the big thing, is what is he doing? How shoot fireball when underwater? Like, I'm ignoring the lava falls, right? I don't know how the...
Editor Danny put the SpongeBob campfire meme here.
Which campfire meme?
The one where they're like, how can you, like, light a fire underwater?
Oh, yeah, that one. Like, I will forgive the lava falls. Those shouldn't work. I'll forgive them because they don't make a mechanical difference.
And also, they are pretty.
They're pretty. They don't fuck with me mechanically. I don't know how there's, like, glowing lava down here. It should all be either that or we should be as hot as magma in this water, which, one, should not be water anymore. This should be the fucking steam caves.
This is fucking plasma.
Like, it's something, I don't know what the fuck, but it doesn't affect me mechanically. The sea dragon affects me mechanically, goddammit. How the fuck is he shooting me with, fireballs? I love so much of his design. I'm not sure if it was 100% intentional. I do like that it looks like they descended from the same thing as Sea Emperors. To the point that it looks like this person accidentally mixed up Sea Emperors and Sea Leviathans on their, like, little thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
I like their place as there's 3 of them. They're big. They'll kill you instantly. Hey, I know you've got a Cyclops and you thought you were hot shit for a while. No, the fuck you're not.
I think there's something we need to consider when ranking them, which is that there's a glitch where you can get all 3 of them stuck in the same location and they can just keep spawning more and more and more. And it makes that area a nightmare to traverse.
Wild bug, do not clone them.
That has happened to me 3 times in my games.
And you were not intentionally trying to do it.
I was not, no.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable. That is affecting my ranking.
That was scary. That was scary shit. I couldn't leave that stupid ass.
That is so scary, and also it really fucks with the gameplay balance. I think this has gotta go in Anglerfish.
I can see it, honestly.
Like, I love you, Sea Dragon. You're great. You fit your position as the thing that makes me piss myself when I've gotten used to and have been able to start getting around, like, with the Cyclops and the prawn suit and start feeling like hot shit. You put me back in my place and make me feel like a little bitch again.
As you should.
But there's so much of you that I don't like. Like, the way that
issues, sir, and I want to like you.
If those issues, like, if you had some other thing, like, if you shot, like, regular-ass rocks, like, if you, like, grabbed, like, regular-ass rocks, or even, like, puddles of that lava, even...
If it used its hands at all.
Then I would be like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm playing baseball with the Sea Dragon. Or, like, a steam, or, like, shoots out, like, fucking boiling water and steam. I could vibe with that. But the fireballs just are not a jam.
It's like you wanted to put Bowser in here.
You wanted Bowser so bad, and I appreciate that, and I love that.
You should be ashamed of admitting that you wanted Bowser in here. You should have just put Bowser 3D model in here, but you decided to make your own.
Give him a big spiky Koopa shell. I can already see an editing bit that I'm gonna be mad at myself if I don't do.
Is it giving him a big spiky Koopa shell?
Just, like, altering the Sea Dragon, like, giving him a funny mustache and a sombrero, and, like, giving him, like, a gold chain and, like, a bunch of rings. like all falling around, like a fucking Game Grumps bit. I'm already, like, I can feel my future self just, you son of a bitch.
You're gonna be DMing me the days you're editing this, just like raging.
Exactly.
It'll be worth it though.
It'll be so worth it. It'll be so good.
Editing Danny, we love you. It'll be worth it. Trust us.
Trust us. Sea Emperor. We love you, Sea Emperor.
This is not the Sea Emperor. We're moving on to the Sea Emperor.
The real Sea Emperor.
The real Sea
God,
Emperor.
Mommy? Not the juvenile, to be clear. The adult Sea Emperor.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I love the design. I love the big flippers. I'm a monster fucker. I love the jaw. I love the way that like it telepathies you and you're like, God damn. What the fuck's happening?
I want her to lay eggs in you so bad.
I do. This video is so getting demonetized after this. The fact that you get to give her your special hatching enzyme.
You get to give her your special slime.
I want her to whisper sweet nothings in my ear with her telepathy. I don't know how the hell I'm gonna manage it. This thing is like 100 billion feet long. It's like what, 200 meters?
Kiss her on her throat.
It's like 200 meters tall. I don't know how I'm gonna manage it, but I'm gonna manage it. I'm taking this thing straight to Pound Town. This video is so not being monetized.
It's taking you to Pound Town being so real.
It's so real. S tier.
Oh, there's the good animation. There it is.
And like and here's the thing, from a lore perspective, you immediately get this idea of a world that had not only intelligent but philosophical sapient beings. And the architects fucked it. And also, the architects can't hear her. Why can't they hear telepathy?
Maybe they were too biomechanical for it. I don't know.
Oh
my god.
But the question is more important, right? It raises so many good lore questions about this world.
Yeah, no, you're right. She's gotta be S tier.
Gotta be.
Like, I love when a major character can be S tier.
It's so glorious. And the fact that you can find the juveniles wandering around, and you can like genuinely throw infected creatures into the goo, and it cures them. It like they knew.
Reminder that baby.
Love them.
I love their shitty little wiggle.
I love their shitty little wiggle. I love them so much. They're so adorable. They're beautiful and perfect, and I really hope none of them get eaten by a Reaper.
None of them will. They're too strong and powerful.
I feel like we do have to move on, though, because this whole thing is... I love her so much. That's the thing, is they're so good. They're so good. Sea Treaders. I feel like Sea Treaders actually kind of get some of the points that Reefback lost. But
Really?
loses some of the points that Reefbacks had. They also get to be a very big, cool, like, what the fuck is that moment? They get to have big, whale-like, peaceful Leviathan. But they don't do either of those as good. You don't get the same first Leviathan awe and wonderment. However,
I do like their nose.
I do like their nose. I do think that the Reefbacks have a better design, though. But also, the Sea Treaders have a better resource-giving you thing going on.
Like, you can follow the Sea Treaders for a while.
It's consistent. You get really good stuff. Like, all of, shale outcroppings are great. they're beautiful. But and the question is, does the better mechanical and resources structure, like, I want to make a base by the Sea Treaders more because of the resources than the Reefbacks. However, I think I would prefer to have a base by the Reefbacks regardless. Like, my main base by the Reefbacks, because they're better aesthetically. Like, I would want, like, a resource outpost by the Sea Treaders.
I think that they rank the same as the Reefback because they do complete each other.
Yeah. Yeah, if there was a way that I could build a base where I could really just, like, have both of them, it would be perfect. Also, their poop is great fertilizer for your bioreactor.
Yay.
Great fertilizer.
And I think that gives them even more points.
Exactly. Gotta collect that alien poop. Also, it confirms that these aliens do poop.
Which is weird because it's only them.
In fact, does this imply that they're the only ones who poop?
It could be one of nature's mysteries.
Next, we're doing the Shadow Leviathan.
Oh, yeah.
And I do like its shape. I think, because pulling back on it for body horror, it's really good at that. It's so fucking alien. Like, I think I have two problems, though. Just two. I think the first problem is that it doesn't really match up to the, oh no, I'm in danger again, or the, like, big alien guy wonderment of the Sea Dragon or the Ghost Leviathan. It has to...
This thing, whenever I found it for the first time, not knowing anything about the game, scared the piss out of me way more than either of those.
And that's the thing. I think it's way scarier. Body horror, shapes, like, it's so fucking scary. However, it does have, like, there's only two big-time dangerous Leviathans in Sub-Zero. And unfortunately, it means that unless we were to lend the Chelicerates way more weight than it should have, as something that's supposed to be like the Reaper, then it has to carry the weight of the Ghost and the Sea Dragon. It's really fucking scary, but is it as good on all fronts as both of the Leviathans that it has to try and replicate in the pacing of the game?
Well, to be fair, for the Sea Dragon, that's not a very high bar.
It's not a very high bar, and I think an intimidation factor, and, like, looking at it scared out of your pants intimidation factor, it does beat that out. However, once you realize that it just swims around and is big and tries to, like, eat you, you can keep into the sea, like, into the alcoves. It's way more workaroundable.
It only has one method of killing, which
holds it back a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
The Sea Dragon can blast you. Like, there is no time where you feel like you're like, unless you're a fucking god, there's no point in the game.
Have any range to it.
No range, and it's not fast enough and, like, nimble enough to be able to easily get to you to make up for that one thing. The Sea Dragon, you at no point feel like you're completely got it, right? It's like, there's always this sense of, like, I've gotta be on my shit because this is so dangerous and it has so many tools that I have to deal with, right? I can't just hang out by the secret areas, it'll blast me. If I try and get up close to avoid the blasting, it'll eat me. It can destroy my prawn suit, it can destroy my Cyclops, and I have to be by it. I can't ignore it. It forces you into an uncomfortable position no matter what. Once you figure out that this thing is too big and can't actually fit in the crystals,
and the fact that it's in a space that allows you to hide from it so easily.
Right. It's so, if this was on the surface, if you shrunk this down, put this on the surface, and sped up the Chelicerate, and, like, made it big and long and eely, and put that back down in there where it can, like, go and snake around in, like, these tight corridors where you normally feel safe,
Yeah.
that would have worked way better, I think, mechanically. It's very good. It's so good. And
Actually,
I don't...
You know who should have... Hold on. You know who should have been there?
Our good friend Blaza.
Our good friend Void Blaza.
He would have been perfect there. Fix his face a little bit, give him a makeup, it would be perfect.
It would be so good.
Now the thing is...
He even has, like, the glowy aesthetic.
Right. Put him down there, great. I think the question is does its mechanical shortfalls put it into C tier or B tier, or does...
Honestly, I would, just because replacing it with Void Blaza would be better, I don't think that I can justify putting it above Void Blaza.
True. So very bottom, maybe top of Anglerfish, which feels very mean. It feels super unfair.
It feels unfair only because it's like canon and high effort.
Canon, it's so well executed. It's perfectly executed in almost every way.
It's not right.
It's just not in the right spot. If it was up on the surface where it had lots of room and it could, like, hang out down on the seafloor and then come up, or, like, and, like, look like, and, like, maybe even, like, look a little bit like something like a piece of the Mercury 2.
Ooh.
And so you have, and, like, that would be dope. That would be so good.
Can I pitch you some form of, like, giant hermit crab or cuttlefish Leviathan that uses shipwrecks as a shell?
Oh, that would be glorious. We do have one more, and it is the Vent Garden. And I think this one is the hardest one to rate, because everything that we would use to rate it kind of doesn't quite match up to what it wants to be. And it feels
It is a plant.
It feels really unfair to try and judge its merits on something like how you interact with it in gameplay, or if you build a base, or, like, reasons to build a base by it, because it is just a plant.
It is required to finish the game.
It is required. That is important too. You do have to go inside of one. I think that I think the thing is that it fills kind of a similar space to the Sea Treader and Glow Whales, where it's almost as much of a fixture. The thing is that the Glow Whales and the Sea Treaders both have a very active way of being...
The reefbacks?
Reefbacks, yes. What did I say?
Glow Whales.
Glow Whales. But yeah, yes, the Reefbacks and the Sea Treaders. They're much more active. They're swimming around, they're stomping around, they give you their resources actively, they move around actively, they spawn in. These are completely stationary. It almost feels more like a building. A very cool, pretty, conceptually interesting building.
I have always wished that we could build inside the Vent Garden.
If you could, if they scaled them in a way where you could build inside of them, S tier. But you just can't. I think that's the thing, is you can't. And so it ends up kind of just feeling like a weird building.
Although we do have to consider that they do have baby forms, and the baby forms
are adorable. They do float around. I think that does give them points. If we were just going with lore, if we were just going for, like, how cool and alien something was on its face and nothing else, it would be scored really high. But it's like, it is a Leviathan. It is a fauna. It is classified with all of these other things, and so to some extent,
wait. Before you assign an official ranking, I want to give you something to reframe your thoughts. Okay. I want you to think about the ancient floater.
True, which I did not put them on here because neither the wiki,
Nobody considers them to be Leviathans, but they are, like, larger than most Leviathans in that game. They fulfill a similar ecological role to the Vent Garden.
Right.
but they do even better because they give you resources that you require to complete the game.
They are. I think I can't rate it low. I think it's a very high rating.
Okay.
But like with a big old asterisk next to it that you cannot rate, like look at or rate this in the same way you would any of the other Leviathans. If we try to grade it with the same rubric that we grade every other Leviathan, you know what I'm gonna do?
I wouldn't put it in. You should make a one that's just plant.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a row above. I'm gonna add a row above, and I'm going to put fish climbing a tree. I'm gonna call it fish climbing a tree tier. And I think I'm gonna put, with that being here, I'm gonna put this guy here too now. Because because that also absolutely belongs in here. They're very, very, very good. And the problem is that you cannot judge them by the rubrics that you're judging all the other Leviathans. And so if you tried to, we would rate it poorly. But if you rated all the other Leviathans by what they are, those other Leviathans would rate poorly. They just have to have a separate rubric, and by that separate rubric, they are excellent. A-S tier, absolutely. But it's really hard to put them in those spots because they do not fill the same space that every other Leviathan does.
I love that one that's just alone.
Yeah, no. We love you. But like, man, you did not do so great, buddy. You're all by yourself.
You're just barely not scraping the bottom of the barrel.
You're the cockroach of Leviathans.
Why is Iceworm below the blue?
No, Iceworm definitely goes up here.
Yeah. Let's reorder the tiers for your feelings about them and then post this.
Yeah, because you're going to go way down here. I think you're also going to go down here. These could be either way, I think, but I think I do like the Reefbacks just a touch more.
Because it's pretty and you like aesthetics. I would not put Glow Whale above.
Yeah, no. You definitely get to go up there. You're way better. Like, it's amazing that you two managed to fucking release in the same tier as those two.
You remember to reorder if it at least animals tier.
Yes, of course. And I think the one at the bottom basically gets to be rated by concept, almost. Because the thing is that all of them fail in execution horrendously.
I am surprised that you put Plague Garg as high as you did.
I think Plague Garg does go above. Because I really like the I think because this concept is way better than I think it's not as good as these two concepts. But it's way better than a fucking water balloon and what appears to be either a cat o' nine tails or something that you pulled out of like a BDSM den that you then turned into a fish. And there officially goes like my last points, like that like officially demonetized. I don't make money off of my YouTube videos.
Oh shit, everybody, wait, hold on. Oh god, fuck. I dropped the cat of nine tails into the fish tank, sorry.
Exactly. I think the thing that is the big question is the Garg or the Reaper better?
Ooh. I personally have to say Garg.
Yeah.
Just because it is such a labor of love.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is that not only is it as good as it is as good as it is solely out of just love for the game. All right, I'm going to save that image.
Beautiful. Editing, Danny. Thank you so much for your work. Both of us love you
Oh,
so
yes,
much.
I love you editing, Danny. I know you're going to hate me so much. But you're going to do great. You're going to make so many funny bits. I promise.
Editing Danny, remember how good it felt while you were stoned out of your mind ranking
Fucking
T-bugs?
stoned out of your mind, talking so much without water that your throat is sore.
Editing Danny, remember that you can text me at any time if you need footage. I'll boot up Subnautica on my janky-ass computer, and I'll find some for you.
Editing Danny, remember that you are loved.
Editing Danny, if you need help, blink twice.
I love that by now, I'm probably, like, editing Danny, right? By now is sitting here going, like, I get it, stop. The longer you go, the more likely it is that you'll say something funny, and I can't just cut this all out.
You can. Trust yourself. You can cut all this out. It's fine.
I don't know, I am really funny.
This can be just a transcendent moment between us.
Or I just don't edit any of this and just let it hang.
My address is 809 Cold Creek Drive, Arlington, Texas 76002. My phone number is 972-515-0035. These are my actual details. My social security.
God damn it! Because now that was funny enough. Now I've got to do this whole thing. I mean, I'll have to bleep out your information, but... No, this is funny enough